Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Ring, this committee has extensively investigated the NLRB's misconduct and procedural irregularities in the administration of mail ballot elections. During the investigation, one thing became clear: the NLRB consistently failed to administer mail ballot elections properly. On June 7th, the NLRB Inspector General released an audit of NLRB mail ballot elections with similar findings. As former NLRB chairman, what would your response have been to the misconduct and procedural irregularities that have been discovered in the administration of mail ballot elections?
Well, thank you, Chairwoman Foxx, and thank you for your leadership when I was chairman. I appreciate it very much. The IG report confirms something I think we've all known, and that is that mail ballot elections are not as reliable as the manual elections that have been held in person, and that's because these mail ballot elections are difficult to administer and susceptible to irregularities. If I were confronted with the IG report and with the work that this committee has done on the irregularities with the manual elections, I would immediately stop mail ballot elections until we figured out what the problem was. During COVID, we had to implement mail ballot elections because we had no choice. That revealed a number of issues with mail ballot elections that this board has been slow to migrate back to the solely using manual elections except in extraordinary circumstances, and I would stop that until we could fix it. And the other thing I would say is, as chairman, I viewed the role as making sure that the public and our stakeholders had confidence in our process. And it's important that the chair, I always thought, made clear to the public what they were doing, how they were going to fix a problem, and that so the public could have confidence in the integrity of the board's processes.
Thank you very much. Ms. Stock, your written testimony notes that it is the NLRB's responsibility to administer the National Labor Relations Act by interpreting the law and, quote, coloring in the lines, end quote, not changing the law. What is an example of Chairman McFerrin's board changing the law rather than merely coloring in the lines?
Thank you, Chairwoman Foxx. There are a number of decisions in which this board has done that. Key examples are CEMEX and the Tesla case. In CEMEX, the board created a new rule that effectively eliminates the secret ballot election. The board has essentially amended the text of the NLRA so as to trigger what's called major question doctrine. Under that doctrine, an agency may not make an adjudication or issue a rule that is contrary to or beyond the statute. Only Congress has the authority to make that type of change. Similarly, in its Tesla decision, which was a decision that changed decades-long old rules about the ability of employers to have a uniform policy, the board completely changed the rule and said that any uniform policy that could interfere in any way with an employee's right to display union insignia is unlawful, thus making every facially neutral, non-discriminatory uniform policy unlawful.
Thank you. Mr. Seaton, under Chairman McFerrin's leadership, the board has issued numerous decisions that tip the scales in favor of unions over the rights of employees and employers, as Ms. Stock is alluding to. Can you discuss whether Congress enacted the National Labor Relations Act and created the NLRB to serve labor union interests?
Thank you, Chair Foxx. I would say no, that is not what they did. It is only in part what they did. They created a system that's designed to be balanced, to create unity in the country, to avoid industrial turmoil, and to give us a system of checks and balances in which employee rights are central, union rights are recognized, and employer rights are recognized. And I am afraid we've tipped the balance significantly under the current chair in the wrong direction.
Thank you very much. Mr. Chairman, I ask to enter into the record letters from the following organizations highlighting NLRB Chairman McFerrin's disastrous record: the Coalition for a Democratic Workplace, the Institute for the American Worker, and the National Right to Work Committee.
Without objection. The chair, pursuant to previous order, the chair declares